Hello and welcome to another European Agenda program. Today we have a very important guest, researcher, political analyst and activist, dear Rojin Mukriyan. Dear Rojin, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We are following you up as well. You're running to conference, and thanks for accepting, first of all, in your busy schedule, that interview. So my first question would be, the question of women's freedom is essential in Öcalan's thinking and writings as well. Can you comment why he ranks their freedom above everything else, including the freedom of a country? Very shortly, please.
Yes, for sure. Well, it's hard to answer this question short, because to understand and to be able to answer this question, we should understand the argument of Abdullah Ocalan when he says that the society will not be free without the liberation of women. What does it mean, and how the liberation of women can lead to the liberation of society? We know that for Ocalan, civilization, or the 5,000-year-old history of civilization, is nothing but the history of the enslavement of women. In other words, civilization for Ocalan is a series of overlapping forms of enslavement and domination. And women and the domination of women, enslavement of women, is the foundation of all other forms of domination and enslavement. And Ocalan is one of the first political theorists that identify women as the first colony. So if we liberate women, which enslavement of women leads to the other enslavement, we can liberate the society, because women represent, for Ocalan, the organic and natural society, a society that is not based on hierarchy and domination, a society that allows peaceful coexistence, and a society that the political power distributed in horizontal way, not from top to down. So this is why the liberation of women is important.
Thank you. Also, would like to ask you that to clarify it, make it to the point. Why do you think regimes such as Turkey and Iran is targeting women and women movements straight away?
Yes, for sure. Because we know that the Kurdish liberation women in Middle East are leading a revolutionary movement under the slogan of Jin Jiyan Azadi. And this revolution doesn't try or attempt to reform this existing system in Iran and Turkey. They even don't try to include themselves within the existing system, but they actually are striving to bring very deep change. So the women liberation movement targeting the state system, the centralization of this state, the nation state itself. So of course the Iranian regime and Turkey as well, they're going to resist that, and they are going to target the women movement.
Thank you. Also about the freedom for Öcalan as well, I would like to hear your comments on that as well. So do you think Öcalan should be free immediately? Do you think his women freedom, ecological and democratic ideas are the way to bring peace in Middle East? And also, do you think these ideas are can be allied to the European people as well? And how important do you see these ideas, very shortly?
First of all, I should say the imprisonment of the Abdullah Ocalan in the first place was illegal, unlawful, and inhuman. And secondly, I want to emphasize that we should refer, when we talk about the freedom for Ocalan, we should emphasize that it's just physical freedom. Because after the imprisonment of Abdullah Ocalan, he didn't stop, and the imprisonment and the jail couldn't remove or to decrease his role in the Kurdish liberation movement. We know that from jail, Abdullah Ocalan actually started intellectual revolution that we saw its impact now in Bakur, Rojava, and Rojhalat, and in Middle East and other parts of world. So, but of course, the physical freedom for Abdullah Ocalan is not important. I say it's essential. Why it is essential? Because I think Ocalan can play the role of a grassroots leadership that can lead to peace, not just in the Kurdistan and this four dominated nation state of Kurdistan, but the whole Middle East. So of course, it is essential.
Thank you. So let's talk about a little more about the women's situation as well, very shortly. How is the Middle Eastern women's struggle is being an inspiration for women in Europe? Very shortly, if you can comment on that one as well.
Sure. You know what distinguishes the Kurdish women liberation movement from other movements, especially in Europe, or from liberal feminism, is that the Kurdish women liberation movement, they are targeting the main and the causal root of the problem. They're not trying, as I said before, exclusion within the existing system or reform within the system. And they believe if you want to overcome patriarchy, hierarchy, and domination, we need to implement the idea of democratic pluralism, and through only direct democracy and a radical form of feminism like genealogy and of course ecology, we can build a harmony between different nations and even harmony between human beings and nature. And of course the Kurdish women movement can lead and also inspire other women movement in other words. And for example, the example of Rojava is fascinating. They could, in one of the most patriarchal societies, when they are facing existential domination from ISIS, Syrian regime and Turkish state, they still could implement the idea of democratic and federalism to fight against the statalization of state, hierarchy, domination, and patriarchy, and lead liberation. And this is fascinating, and that could be one example for not just Middle East and other parts of Kurdistan, but the whole world.
Thank you. Lastly, anything else you would like to add on about this perspective, and what is your call for freedom for Abdullah Öcalan?
First of all, I should say that I said all of this. I refer to the structure of the state power and that we are living in the state. But I say that Abdullah Öcalan, by introducing the idea of democratic federalism, tries to open a way of this closed circle and a way for liberation. And as being a member of both the oppressed nation and being a member of women that is the victim of the patriarchy and civilization, I say now it's our duty to act and do whatever we can do to make the physical freedom for Abdullah Öcalan possible.
Thank you. Researcher, political analyst, and political activist, dear Rojin Mukriyan. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for your valuable comments today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. We came to another European Agendas program, and we have very important guests today, Rojin Mukriyan, a political analyst, researcher, and political activist. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next European Agenda program.